involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Well, we had a big day yesterday, and we have actually moved slightly higher in the overnight session. You wait here a little bit. Let's take care of all the housekeeping first, shall we? Shall we? All right. Now let's open all this. Here we got us going here. Good. All right. Oh, good morning, HBIN USA. Thank you. Thank you for visiting our Discord. Okay. Make sure this is up. All right, well, these aren't going to be going for a while, so I'm just gonna move this back over here for now. I when I recorded, it didn't quite give me what I wanted, and so I'm gonna have to do it again later. Okay. Anyways, we moved much higher after the FOMC announcement. I mean, a whole point and then some. And then overnight, we went more. Now we are coming back quite a bit. So, but that's good. I mean, this could continue up. It's a little bit dependent on the E-mini still. Problem here is, oh wait, so where did they get to? 2692. So they never even got to 2700. Well, I would say that the E-mini probably has some room to go still. But this is like some significant long-term resistance, so man, I'm still getting the runny nose. So I don't know if they're actually going to do it, but I think we need to be cautious. It's a Thursday. We get some news always on Thursdays, right? So we got the unemployment number. We get Canadian GDP. Employment cost index. Chicago PMI at 745 too. That's important.
Under 3 minutes away to the bottom of the hour in the US and Canadian data. Starting with the US, initial jobless claims looking for an estimate of 215,000. Continuing claims looking for an estimate of 1.721 million. Looking at the Canadian GDP month on month for November, looking for an estimate of minus 0.1%. Year on year, looking for an estimate of 1.6%. Canadian industrial product price month on month for December, looking for an estimate of 0.1%. And raw materials price index month on month for December, looking for an estimate of 4%. Employment cost index for Q4, looking for an estimate, that's from the US, shall I say, US employment cost index for Q4 there, looking for an estimate of 0.8%. Just to clarify again, I'll leave with the US claims followed by the Canadian data, and then I will go with the US employment cost index.
Yeah, when you look at the longer term chart here, right, going way back, this is a crowded area, right? We have not been able to get down below this area, you know, and we're actually going, you know, we've been moving higher, so there's a possibility of like a major breakout at some point. Okay, well, 146.30 is a key area, but I'm just saying this is crowded. Like, I have stuff on the DOM from last year, basically, So even though I think that my bias still has to be to the
1 minute.
upside, it's like super hard to tell what's going to happen. Liquidity is a little bit light still. I think that they're not going to do a whole lot until the news, so let's just see where that takes us. So cost index 0.8 is the number I'm interested in. Oh, I got some, what's going on here? Oh, wow. Thank you. Well, somebody on Twitch was gifting subscriptions to channels, so I got one, which is great because I love that. I love Team Spooky. When they do their Soul Calibur games, I love watching that. Anyways.
10 seconds.
I hope I should change this. All right.
253,000 there for the initial jobless claims. The prior revised to 200,000 from 199,000. Continuing claims coming in at 1.782 million. Going into the Canadian GDP coming in at minus 0.1% month on month. Year on year coming in at 1.7%. Canadian industrial product price month on month coming in at minus 0.7%. Raw materials price index month on month for Canada coming in at 3.8%. The prior revised to minus 11.8% from minus 11.7%.
That's
there.
not gonna fill.
Employment cost index coming in at 0.7%. So just to repeat then, Canadian GDP month on month coming in at minus 0.1%, year on year coming in at 1.7%, US initial jobless claims coming in at 253,000, the prior revised to 200,000 from 199, and continuing coming in at 1.782 million. Seeing there, the EU warns 8 banks on antitrust violations on euro bond sales there. Just to repeat that, EU warns 8 banks on antitrust violations on euro bond sales.
I have no clue how that affects us, but I think it would. Okay, well, the 5-year is moving up. It has a room to go. I don't know if I want to just buy 06. Well, I should at least have this up. We can put that there so that we can see if I could get 05 maybe? Yes, if I can get 05. Oh, and so Luke Nuke is new from YouTube. Welcome. Let me give you guys both the I felt like that was a decent amount of order flow up, but then when I look at it, okay, so do we have to maybe buy that one? Sure. Okay. Oh, that also reminds me I need to start my restream chat. Everybody's retail here, unfortunately. Okay, so I'm not particularly happy about the way that I got filled there, and 99 going into 045, but it did tick back up, so that's good. I'm kind of adjusting my position, so I think I'm gonna try and get the one tick here, and then see if I can buy again at 05. More like a one lot trader. Okay. you focused on the 10-year too? Okay, we got the chat connected. Wait, 2 of 3. It's not connected to YouTube. That sucks. Okay, we're just gonna have to pull this up. All right. Only 53 into 055. I would have thought that it would not be so hard for them. I trade treasuries primarily. If I see something stupid happening in other markets, I will jump in from time to time. Okay. So good. Why is it not... there we go. I'm confused as to why I did not get a extra... Maybe I need to refresh here? Isn't something stupid happening in every market every time? I'm going to need to open up one of these and make it big over here to figure out what just happened there. Okay, the stop limit at 055 was canceled. Got filled at 05 and 055. And then I sold. No, that's not right either. I bought at 05, I bought at 05 half, but it is telling me that I did not make one tick from opening it up there to there. Oh, maybe it was that I bought at 05 half and I bought at 05 and then I sold at 05 half, and yes, that's right. Okay. So what I did was I didn't make any money off of it, but I did bring my average position down. That's what happened. Okay, cool deal. I was confused there for a second. I was like, no, shouldn't that be what's happened? Hey, Jan, what's going? What's up, bro? I today could be tricky. You be careful the day after FOMC. So I'm being a little okay. See, there it seems like that they have an opportunity to go up higher, but it's like super tepid. Excuse me. Gotta love it when some noob is in calendars and the spread blows out on the wrong side. Ooh. Need to take a bigger look at calendar spreads. Okay. Did you make a video? Oh, so I went in yesterday to take the video that we recorded and put it in the video. And when I download it from YouTube, it only gives me like a super tiny version of it. It doesn't give me like the full version of it. So I think I need to record it like to disk. So we're going to have to do it again today. And then I think I will put it out hopefully on Monday. I am recording something else tonight for the Democrat primaries. So we're gonna do some speculation on that. So maybe do a little political analysis, say a few offensive things. Hopefully nothing too extreme though. I think, political primaries are one of the most interesting things to speculate on because they're really so it's so hard to know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? And it's, of course, there are like statistical things that you can look at to try and tell who's going to win and stuff. But it's very difficult to be good at doing that, And it is an important thing to look at for markets, like understanding the way, okay, that 06 just like straight up pulled and the 5-year ticked up. So I think we're in an okay spot. I don't like that it's not giving us +3 yet. The 10-year is actually putting on the brakes at +2 and even selling 05. But there is a big iceberg there. I think that we're probably in good shape. If I can get filled again. If I can get filled at 05, that would be awesome, but I don't think that that's going to happen. As long as I continue to see that iceberging on the bid, though, it's like, all right. I mean, of course, that could, like, blow up in our face any second, but let's see, is the restream is still not... Nope, it doesn't like YouTube today. Let's just try restarting it. It's so much easier to read it just like all on one screen. I guess I could just leave this one open because I do get the robot does still seem to send it over from Twitch, but it's just more comforting that way, I guess. Yeah, apparently when you download the MP4 off of YouTube, so I thought you can always just go back on there and download the video because they have like the download as MP4 option when you're managing your videos. But when you download it, it's only like 320. It's only like 320. It's like, okay, like I know that you have a bigger file over there, guys. Why aren't you giving me the bigger file? But I mean, we'll see. What I'm going to do, I have a board. I'll show you guys, and we'll do it, and we'll see what you guys think. I mean, obviously, I'm a pretty conservative person, right? And I'm okay with making fun of the Democrats, really any politician, frankly. I think that if you're like, especially when I'm on Reddit, man, and somebody's speaking really highly of a politician, it's either propaganda or they're brainwashed, because nobody should ever be saying anything nice about a politician ever. They're all garbage, guys. And it's not that they're bad people or anything. It's just the nature of the position. A politician is not their own person anymore. They are intrinsically connected to the people that elected them, and they have to play to that or they can't stay elected. Like, that's just the way that it is. You know what I mean? And so I don't think anybody should ever be singing a politician's praise. So I'm down with making fun of everybody, but maybe that offends some people. That's why I'm like, we'll see how people react to it. But I'm going to record a video tonight, so that you kind of as a primer about what I want to do. the format. And then the following weeks on Friday night, I want to stream it so we can have a back and forth discussion. Because those are the two things that I think I can kind of provide that I think are missing. One is like the pure like analytical perspective of it, because I feel like when you watch Fox News, it's way too geared towards trying to push a particular candidate, and I don't feel like that the statistical analytical side is shown too much. And 538 does an okay job with some things, but I think that he's a little bit too married to his model, which I don't think he understands when it works and when it doesn't work. And then the other side of it is, sometimes you can say something and everybody else will have a different idea about it. And maybe if, when we're talking back and forth at the time, I would be like, oh yeah, you know what, you're right. Maybe we should clarify that or refine that idea a little bit or develop it a little bit more, And so you kind of get that. So I think that would be kind of an advantage to that content. And I just think that it would be another way that we could maybe grow the channel a little bit. Unfortunately, there's only so many people trading futures out there. And honestly, part of our goal here is we want traders to be as independent as possible. Like, I really hate that so many people really they need to pass a combine to really get the money to trade in a way that would really give them a good chance at success. And the combine is not, very aggressive targets, so it's not necessarily the greatest way to learn how to trade because of that. Anyways, so I would like to be able to do things that would allow newer traders to become more independent and like provide more resources to you. But in order to do that, we're going to need to grow the channel so that we can have more resources that we can push back into it. So the politics is one thing that I have that I think maybe we can use. So we'll see. But I'm going to be paying close attention to what kind of feedback you guys give me on Friday. So this is just very much like the rest of the week. You know what I mean? Like, they're only absorbing on the bid side. They're almost only absorbing on the bid side. And when they do move it up, it tends to go all at once. Like, there's only 1,500 trading on the offer, and then they're able to move up. And they're doing like everything they can to try and get you to give up. Because it's like the big guys are all on one side and they're trying to be passive. And so you just end up with this thing that just is like a really, really slow chug until everybody starts getting stopped out. That's what it's been like earlier in the week. Let's see. Okay, so there was a little bit more breaks there at the +3. But they're going now. They're really going now. A 5-year is going to have some resistance at 23 even. So maybe 3 more ticks up here. Never got my second contract filled. I don't want it now. You don't want to be buying something new. It comes back 3 ticks on you really fast if that's what happened. In fact, we need to move that up, I think. What do we have about? Ooh, there's some stuff at 12. That's and 14. Nothing really below us. So there's actually some people sitting up there with big targets above us. What about over here? 16. There's always something at 16. Yeah, but nothing too significant. There's a big one at 25. Okay. We'll see. The E-mini is pushing down pretty aggressively at the moment. So it was based mostly in context knowing it would take time and that you would have to wait due to activity that's taking place during the week. Okay. Well, I do need to consider taking it off here at 07. The E-mini had a good push down there. Yeah, I don't know. So the I'm torn here between it's stopping and maybe the E-mini doesn't go any further. I mean, they just made new lows there. Totally. So it's really hard to say where they're going to go, but they're now into an area where there's going to be some support. And I'm not seeing a ton of like aggressive trade into 07. But I do see that the 5-year has a little bit more room to run. Because I thought that in the 5-year that they would get to 23. So I think with it being this slow, I think that I should take the +4 for now. Okay. Okay, so that downtick in the 5-year was not necessarily what we wanted to see. Yeah, there's a big order at 146.16. I think the cold weather is drying me out because my lips feel really chapped. Okay. So now that 22 is kind of weak, but they're absorbing a lot at it. All right, well, that's good. Just the fact that it's taking so long to get filled, I think, is even kind of a clue that the pressure is off for the moment. It's the E-mini that was driving us, and now it's unclear if the E-mini is going to go and make another new low or not. And in fact, the 5-year at the moment is is trying to say that it's not, but there's an iceberg there, so we may get a push higher. Okay, cool. Cool. That was a good fill. I'm probably, I felt like earlier in the week that I was too cautious. I'm still being cautious. Well, it ticked down. I don't know. Right there is like, okay, maybe I could buy 6.5, but it already ticked back up. If it gave me anything, like if it gave me 06 and that held, that would be awesome. I don't think that would happen though. Yeah, I don't know. We are getting a little bit more back and forth volume here though. We're getting little trickles into this and little trickles into this. You're getting this big order here in the 5-year. Something. No. Hmm. Okay. You can see that when we moved up that there was definitely some liquidity below it kind of propping it up. I wished we had rid of these so that we could see a little bit more about what's going on in here, but I think that it's trying to say that it's actually pretty even on both sides. Flip is not. I don't know what the deal is with the flip chart. How did you see the move that got you into 50s? So the primary reason that I got in that trade was, well, sorry, let me back up. The context is it's a Thursday, so we got news, so we might have a little bit more movement than normal. We just had the FOMC and it was very dovish. And so the market seems to have a tendency to move up, and it's still the end of the month, so we have a tendency to move up. So I was kind of favoring along anyways. And then we had news, and on the news move, they bought, and so that was up. So I wanted to buy. And when it came back to 05, it was just slow. And I knew that 05 was the open. So that's why I tried to get filled there. And, I was able to get lucky. I was able to get one contract here and one contract here and then take this one off so that my position was at 05. I wanted another one at 05, but it never gave it to me, unfortunately. So that's how that was the process of making that trade. So I wouldn't say that I got like a super strong entry signal or anything. It was just kind of like I could see the pressure they wanted to buy. And then of course when it ticked up here and there was some absorption, that was like a confirmation signal that I was right and that I could hold it. Now at '07, that one I took off because it was not trading very aggressively into it, and it was +4. You always gotta remember, like, when you get 3 to 4 ticks, that is the average rotation, and you will see some profit taking. And if it's being really slow, then you've got to consider taking it. And you can always try to get back in, at that same spot or a little bit lower. That's why I've been eyeing that '06, because there's a possibility that they go down there. See, somebody took profits at '07 for sure, but maybe we just go through them. They don't matter. But it's being slow enough, my probability is kind of iffy. The other thing was I took it off because the E-mini pushed down and made a new low, and then it pulled back and it got slow again. So I knew that we might hover here for a while. I think, given that they did clear '06 half there for a bit, that I made the right decision, but I probably should have tried to buy it there at '06 half the first time that it came down. I thought, like, oh, we can wait and see what it does. So maybe a missed opportunity, but it wasn't like a super clear one, so I'm not going to kick myself. Just getting back into, like, I've been doing pretty well, and we have been moving. Like, I really should have pushed it yesterday, and I didn't. So I'm feeling like that. That's kind of why I'm like that. I guess I gotta remember too that I have to at 7:30. Well, around about 7:30, I need to go and wake the kids up. Okay, so that was a good take at 7.5, but there was some profit taking there as well. But this could continue much further now. Here's the 23 where I said that you're going to see some resistance in ZF. So let's see how they act there. So if I had held, I'd be looking here. Do they have problems clearing this 23? If they have problems clearing 23, then maybe I take it off. But if they just blow right through it, they could continue way up to... Oh, wait, where is it? 24.25. Oh, new high, basically. New high, basically. Okay, so they did have problems at it. And we came back 2 ticks. Interesting. And a little bit of a stack at 08 as well. It seems like that there is plenty of interest in buying it at 07.5. I'm not seeing it like come back heavy or anything. So apparently some of these children are already awake. Okay. See, this still looks like profit taking to me. That might be a good thing though. I mean, maybe it means that we're getting good rotation. Maybe that provides us a lot of buyers for if they bring it up, they try and chase it or something. Eh. The lovely birds are up as well. Well, so the kids go to their birth dad's house today, and so my wife works when they're gone. She's a flight attendant, and so she woke them up when she got ready to go. They're being pretty quiet right now, but they are awake and the blankets are not on the cage. So yeah, we're gonna hear some birds. Let's see what they do. See, I see plenty of interest at 07.5. Like we've even started to build out this part of the profile and starting to make our own node there. The problem is that that node, they could flip it down and push us back to the open really easily. You know, from a risk reward perspective, you got like a reward of 3 ticks on the upside and pretty unknown risk on the bottom, because if they come down to the open, there's who knows what they do. I guess if it came back down here to the bottom, I would definitely be looking for a long, but okay, the E-mini is threatening, so that might bid us up. Do you think maybe if I put one like right here? So there, the 5-year ticked up. Are they gonna tick beyond it? No. They're still having trouble at 23. They pulling in CB. Rad Arnett says that he's actually looking to short 16. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, so they're roughly equal on both sides. So I think that there's a good chance that they clear 08 here. I don't know if they tick beyond that, but I think if you just gotten filled at 07.5, that you should be able to take it off here. Can you wait until 19? Sure, why not? You guys. So one thing that I'm also noticing over here in the 30 is that we did have liquidity follow us up, but you can see that since that time it's actually kind of held at '06. See, they're not aggressively chasing it yet. Yes, looks is threatening again. Pre-market, it's so hard to tell, but I mean, you gonna tick all the way down to the bottom of it and trade a few hundred contacts there and not go? Yeah, there you go. No reaction in treasuries. They did not react to that. That's very, very interesting. Wonder, by the way, did Donald Trump tweet anything more? Democrats are becoming the party of late-term abortion, high taxes, open borders, and crime. Republicans on the Homeland Security Committee are wasting their time. Oh, there we go. We got Phil. Democrats, despite all the evidence, proof, and caravans coming, are not going to give wall money to build the desperately needed wall. I've got you covered. The wall is already being built. I don't expect much help. Okay, so iceberging at 08. Iceberging at 07.5. Okay. Curious. So what I guess it's what I expected to see, but it was still a little curious. They seemed to really want it at 07.5. So now we've got 4K iceberg on both sides. That was the price that I said you could take one from, wasn't it? We're still having trouble at the 23. Okay. Okay. Now they're trading into 23 quarter. E-mini is still pushing lower. So now you get the 20, what is it, 26.75? Okay. 500 to tick it up. How far can the E-mini come back? It might come back all the way to 2672, actually. Where they're at right now is kind of like a session point of control, so I don't know. Yeah, there's been a lot of... Yep. 16 is the midpoint. They like to trade it. Well, I would have preferred to take that other contract off at 085, but now that has happened. Well, that ES is pushing down pretty aggressively still. Ah. Values just went positive since January 2nd. No clue what that means, Gabe. Probably, maybe should go a little bit into that. How much does the rhythmic feed cost? Oh my gosh, guys. I don't remember off the top of my head anymore. It's like, it's $15 a month. It's $15 a month. $15 a month. And then what was the other thing? Sorry, I don't, Michael, my restream chat is not working today. See, like, it's not telling me anything, and so I'm not seeing the comments right away. Why don't you trade stocks? Good question. So I will swing stocks. I own some stocks, but the commissions are pretty high. You trade stocks, relatively speaking, and you don't have any leverage in stocks. So the amount that you make for your money just isn't very good. And then the other thing is that if you're scalping, the people that you're competing against with stocks, it's just not fair. And I really don't think that I can compete with them. I say that because I know what kind of data they get. Because part of what I did at Goldman Sachs was provide the infrastructure that gives them that data. And they have information that is like tick by tick. How much does a change in interest rates change the company's holdings and their debt and all of these other things? And so they have an idea of what a stock is really worth that you just don't have. You just don't have the information to compete with the specialists. And so that's why I wouldn't really recommend day trading stocks. The one way that you can make money, as I understand, or that I've heard people talk about, rather, I've never tried it myself, is get a scanner and catch momentum on stocks. But that's kind of a what is it? That's a little bit too much adrenaline for me. You know what I mean? It's like when we get a big move up, I'm always like, whoa, okay, dude, like this is crazy. My head's exploding. It gets intense and all this. And for all your trades to be like that, and knowing that, hey, all of this momentum that this stock has been having could completely so I'll give you an example. When I first started, I would do options in stocks. I liked to trade C because it was cheap and there was so much volume in C that you actually could trade it, and they were actually giving you like a rebate if you broke even on a trade. Like they wanted you to trade these things, so you could trade it like an index. And but there was one day AIG came out with their earnings, and this was like right after the financial crisis, and it was like, oh hey, actually this company actually has some stuff going on, and they actually are going to make money because they got bailed out, and now that the worst is over, the business is working the way that it was supposed to. And their earnings were like blowout, and that stock went up so crazy that day. And I caught it right when that first happened, so I missed like the big like doubling of it. But then it like went up like 8 times that day or whatever. And then I could just see price. I couldn't see a DOM at the time. But I was watching it in Thinkorswim, paper trade, whatever, right? And I'm like, it's kind of slowed down, and I made pretty good, so I'm gonna get out. So I tweeted about it, actually. It was a different Twitter account. I had another Twitter account, and I don't even know like the email address that I use for it, so I can't find it anymore. But it was like on StockTwits and everything. I was like, I'm getting out. And then like right after I got out, there was this huge collapse, and it lost like half of its gains in a second. And it looked like this. Where's my thing? It looked like this. That was what the stock did, and it was like way down like that, right? And that was the day that I was like, I don't know if this kind of trade is for me. Even though I did well on it. Okay. I'm pretty sure Rhythmic also charges an extra $20 a month on top of the regular $15 CME bundle. I don't think that's what it does for me, because when I look at my account, I just get the $15 a month taken out. But that's from the broker, right? Yeah. My Kinetic feed is like 115. I was thinking about switching. So the thing is that I believe that if you were just getting Rhythmic, that it would cost more. And there is a commission on it too, on your trades, remember. But I think that the broker takes away some of that cost through AMP. Yeah, it's AMP. I think the AMP, is what makes it so that it's only $15. Oh boy, I don't like that at all. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to dig it out here. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. I think there's a pretty good chance that I do get filled here. And there's even a good chance that they continue through. So I don't know if I could sell, but that is not a good sign. It's not supposed to, it doesn't do that. That is not the typical behavior. And so even though I don't know what it's going to do, and even though I see a possibility of even more, because like really like they could go for this 12. They could totally go for this 12. But because I'm not seeing exactly what I want to see, I'm going to get out. But because there's an iceberg there and everything, and you know there was a block by it, there's a good chance that they're going to clear it. If you're with AMP, they're switching you an extra 20. That's why I switched to CQG. So let's go look at their website, right? And I'll show you where it tells us this. Exchange data fees. So that's what you get right there. Make it bigger. $15 for the CME bundle, which is what I get if you're non-pro. Then there's some other things like if you want an additional user, then it's $10. And there's the trade route, which is a quarter per side. And then if you want the API, it's $20, which I'm not bothering with, but maybe it would be worth looking into at some point in the future. Yeah. Yeah. But I don't think I pay for the API. So then let me look here if I can get in. Hold on a second. Okay. You know what? I have to look at it this way. I'll just find the statement. Oh, that's the tax thing. No, here we are. Okay. No, it's only charging me $15 a month. So I didn't. Here's December. I'll just. Oh, I can't show you that, can I? You're just gonna have to trust me. I guess you're just gonna have to trust me. I'm only paying $15. So yeah, I don't want to show, all of my personal information. So I can't. I'd have to put it into whatever. Yeah. I wonder if it's just a Sierra thing. That Sierra you have to pay for the API? Maybe. But I mean the thing is probably you don't have to pay for the API unless you're like really using it. And I don't program anything directly with Rhythmic, although that might be interesting to try. We should do some stuff with. I need to look at Ninja because somebody was talking to me yesterday about, it doesn't show you how many orders are at a level. Like you can see how many lots are at a level, but you can actually also see how many orders are at a level. But it's not a feature in Jigsaw. It's a feature in TT, but it's not in Jigsaw. And I'm wondering, so I wonder if I dig back into that stuff in NinjaTrader, if there is some other info that I'm not being shown. If you make enough trades, they waive the other fees. Yeah, sure. That's true too. But I'm just looking at my statement from December, and I didn't trade my live account in December. And it's, where to go? And I only see the $15 taken out, and that's it. So look, it ticked down there. Man. Well, so here's my problem. Oh, this is an interesting trade, guys. Wait, let me see what you're see. Me does that MDP3 data now that shows orders instead of lots. Oh, really? So you don't even necessarily have to reconstruct it. Oh, well, but that's only for the level 2, I guess. I'm misunderstanding what you're saying. I can't take this. But I really want to. I'm interested to see if Digital Shot and Rad Arnett are going to get their trade. So we didn't get up to Rad's 16. They're coming short of the 16. We had a block buy at 095, and they did clear it, and they did take a tick higher, and now they are pushing back below that level, and they're even hitting pretty aggressively into 09. I think the buyer here is going to get filled, and I think that they're going to clear it. So the question is, could you sell 09? Well, I don't know if you can, because that that iceberg buyer guy is still there. So he could totally hold it and push it up through here, right? There's the E-mini. By the way, the E-mini open was buying, but it's being absorbed. So I see a scenario where we come back in a meaningful way. Like, we could get back to, like, my entry at 07 and 07.5. But I don't... I'm not confident enough in it. So the context is still somebody wants to buy it. And so if I sell it, there is a risk that you don't get very much from it. And it would be a very counter-trend trade. You know? And the trade that I think you would like, the fundamental and behind that move, I think would be a little iffy too. Because I think that you would have to be saying the E-mini is going to go up. But if the E-mini is going up, the E-mini is going up because it likes the interest rates are low. Yeah. So it would be better to see them both move up. And just that, if it had gone offer at 09 really easily, then maybe that would be a little bit different. If I was seeing a change in liquidity, the only thing that I'm seeing that's different is that there was some liquidity way back at 22 that is gone now. So all of those factors combined, I don't really know what it's going to do, so I'm not taking a trade here. I read that it's super processor heavy, though. Admittedly, the technical side of data feeds is kind of alien to me. I opened my account through NinjaTrader Brokerage and trade through Dortmund. Why would you want to pay extra? CQG is 15 and Rhythmic is 25 cents. Yeah, you know what? When I originally started, I wanted CQG, and they might go higher. We'll see. I may just be done for the day. Like, I took 2 trades, got 8 ticks. That's pretty good. We'll see. There's always that 8 to 8:15 one. But I have to take the kids in too, so that's kind of like, I'll shut it down at 8:30. It'll still be the same time, but, I do have to consider the kids. And so it might be better to just say, you know what, you made what you need to and just sit it out. Anyways, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So when I started trading through AMP, because before that I was doing the combines, right? And eventually I said, okay, I got this bonus, put this money in there and we'll see what happens. Kind of, we'll see what happens this year.
Hoping, this time,
fingers,
we are expecting
fingers crossed.
The release of the US Chicago PMI for January. So expected at 61.5 against par of 63.8 in the range of 57.0 to 66.0.
Yep, Lucas and Uzi's still right. Uzi hasn't said anything for a couple of days. Have you just been lurking or did you come back? So you got, so there's this other guy in here, Ace, Dustin. And you two kind of have a similar sort of a thing. Like, you only tend to take one trade per day. It's a pretty easy target. Uzi was only taking 1 tick. I think he does more than 1 tick sometimes. Dustin only takes 8 ticks, which in the E-mini is like nothing, right? And they kind of do a little bit of
block buy.
Well, there you go. Okay, so, I did the right thing. Another block buy. I mean, this could exhaust itself. Oh, you shoot for 8+ now, really? In ZB? Yeah, I guess in ZB you could do that. Hey, look, there's the 16. So now the thing is that he had to do the block buy at 10. He did it at 09.5, and now it happened again at 10. It's holding it, but there was definitely some resistance there, wasn't there? So I think that I still need to be careful here because that's a really strong trend. Yes, sir. That's really strong trend, but if it fails the level, it's not going to be pretty. Anyways, I keep getting distracted. I was going to say something. When I first started trading with AMP, I wanted to use CQG. And the main reason I wanted to use CQG was because it had, it showed you the spreads, which Rhythmic isn't showing me the spreads. And it shows you the interest rate index is included with it too. At least when I was using like the CQG demo, that's what it was. It would give you those things, but it wouldn't give you ZF. Anyways, but at the time I wanted to have NinjaTrader and DayTrader open, and the bridge didn't exist, and so I had to connect to it with both of them, and so I needed 2 connections. And at the time, Rhythmic just you got by default 2 connections at once, and so I did that. I tried CQG, and then the setup didn't work, so I told them, let's switch it over to Rhythmic. And now it's kind of like, well, if it's not broke, don't fix it, sort of a thing. I don't know. Like I could switch over to CQG, but I'm kind of under the impression. I mean, there's really subtle differences between the two of them, and I don't think that we completely understand all the differences, right? We know, for instance, that you may actually see differences in volume and level 2 between the CQG and the Rhythmic, because there's so much data that comes through from the exchange, between the exchange and Rhythmic, that if they were forwarding all of that data over to us, there's no way that they would be able to push that much data. You know what I mean? And so they filter some information out. Okay, we got a kid. What's up? What's up? Yeah. Oh, man. What's that piece of paper there? Makes it hard.
It's a bow tie.
Okay, there you go. Oh.
Oopsies. I'll do this.
Let's see, now we're down, but we're below where the block buy happened again. This is, I can't take this one, but this is really starting to look to me like a potential reversal. Yeah, that's how I feel. My kinetic feed is good, ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah, so with kinetic, my understanding with kinetic is you can actually get kinetic data just to have the data. And it's expensive because they're not doing it through a broker. Because I remember before I was looking and thinking like, well, maybe I should just pay for just data only. And so you would look at like kinetic and you'd be like, oh crap, that's like really freaking expensive, especially to get like all the instruments that you want and stuff. And then I found out that, you only need $500 to fund an account and amp. And so I put in 1,000 in there. And, yeah, I lost a little bit of it though in April. That was why this year, what I'm trying to do here, I still do have some in there. So I do trade the live account sometimes, but not very often. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to save. Hopefully we get the yard thing taken care of. That's like the one thing over my head that's preventing me from like just dumping hundreds of dollars into it. But save, and then when we've gone through the summer months, depending on if my context theories play out going through to the summer, then when the volatility comes back, then I will dump more into it and trade the live account more. That's how I'm planning on doing it. But like I said, it's kind of turned into I've realized that it's probably not necessarily a good idea for everybody to know when I'm trading live and when I'm not. So I'm just, I don't say anymore because it doesn't matter. To you guys, it shouldn't matter. But because we're not trying to go in here and be like, oh, is Seth a good trader or not? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is the things that I'm basing this off of have real statistical edge, and I can show them to you, and you may choose to trade them differently from me. I don't know. But that's kind of how I feel about it. See, like if you were gonna do it, you go short at 10. It looks really promising. I think though that I need to sit on my hands. I've been saying I should be more aggressive, but the only reason I feel that I was able to get
3 minutes now until we see the release of the US Chicago PMI for January again, that's expected at 61.5.
I took one from here to here, and then I took one from here to here. So there was maybe 3 ticks out of this move in the morning that I missed. But otherwise, I think it did a good job.
Those who are subscribed to the Chicago PMI will get that number slightly early. Will be released about 9.
That's right.
Hopefully be getting it just at the bottom of the hour.
Anyways, I feel like the only reason I was able to make that trade effectively was because I understood from the context that there was going to be buying. And so what is there about the context right now that tells me that there's going to be a reversal? I don't think that that's there. I guess the one thing that I would say is that it's a day after FOMC. And so you are going to see two-way trade. So it's not unreasonable to take short and maybe get 2 to 4 ticks out of it. Or maybe even to see a complete reversal and see it come all the way back to 05.
1 minute.
But I don't think that that's really a trade that I can take because I don't have enough to really see that it's going to do that.
Zero Hedge on Twitter saying that the Chicago PMI coming in at a miss. Again, it's expected at 61.5.
Okay. Well, that would tend to push us up. So that's another strike against going short for me. I don't think I can take it long because we're so close to the 12 and I don't know if we're going to go up to these other numbers. Like there's 16, but there's always something at 16. There's 23.5, but that's like way too far for me to consider.
10 seconds. It's 56.7 for the Chicago PMI, a prior revised of 63.8. So again, that's below expectations of 61.5 at 56.7.
Still got a little bit of tightness in here. Hopefully it'll work out today and it'll loosen up a bit. Get some movement into it. So let's see here. LeBron on Twitter says the ZNF2 curve has a picture of a curvy girl flipping you off. Okay. Well, the whole thing is this may just be like really strong resistance point and they eventually push through it and you see it further. So I don't know. Wait, what? Sarah Huckabee Sanders says she thinks God wanted Donald Trump to become president. Okay. I mean, if you think about it, it's if God really didn't want him to be president, then he could have done something about it. I mean, Pennsylvania admits to thousands of registered non-citizen voters as well. Interesting. Not seeing much else political news this morning, though. The one thing I am seeing today that surprises me, well, actually, two things. One is GE shares surge 10% after revenue tops expectations and outlook from CEO Culp soothes fears. People have been really negative on GE for quite some time, and I was hearing that like they were just going to be gone. So for them to be turning around is a very positive thing for the market. But then the other side is that the analysts got Facebook wrong, and Facebook earnings were really good, which shocks me. I think that the long-term growth prospects for Facebook are bad. But, man, I'm having a hard time with my... I got a good night's rest, so I don't know why I would be having more trouble today than yesterday with the snot, but whatever. I don't really have a runny nose, so maybe I'm just clearing it out. Or maybe I'm getting allergies from something. Anyways, so for Facebook to be doing good, and that's a big component. The only thing that you could get that would be better is Apple doing really well. And, they did their earnings and it was okay. So, yeah, this market is totally clear. I don't think I see a reason for us to be like gangbusters. Let's buy this up through this resistance area and just go up for new highs per se, but I think that the way is clear. The way is clear, so maybe we do see a new market high this year. That would be great if it did. I guess the only thing that I care about is that my Goldman Sachs stock makes a recovery, because the thesis for me, well, the price target and the thesis there still haven't played out yet. So I wish that I could have gotten out and bought some more or something like that, but they came back a lot, didn't they? It was ugly.
A bit of Japanese equity news now. Nikkei reporting that Foxconn is to postpone output at its planned Guangzhou project.
Okay, so let's see, what were they saying here in the Discord? Is everyone focused on
outrights? We have
outrights?
the US new home sales for November. It's expected at 570,000 against prior of 544,000. The month-to-month figure at 4.8% expected against prior of minus 8.9%. As the range of minus 1% to 10.7%.
Yeah, so I'm seeing here in Discord a couple of guys did try the short. So like Digital Shot tried 10 and got stopped out on it for one tick. So it's kind of this thing, like it might happen. I feel like if it happens, like if there is a short, that it's going to be really hard to hold it. Like they're going to really make it seem like it's going to go for a new high and then fail or something like that. You know, or they're going to do this. Like, you see what they're doing right now? They're saying, hey, if you want to go short, you're going to have to do it at 0.95. Even though the balance area has been 10. Ah, there you go. They trade it and then they pushed it back up. Okay, it went. It went. But I'm just saying it'd be very easy for them to push it back up 2 ticks again and have you stop out and them get filled at 10.5 and then push it down. You know? I think it's one of those. It's one of those. Facebook has no inherent value. Could be a tumor. Oh wait, could be. Are you talking about my my cough? It could be a tumor. Probably not. You know, so here's the problem I'm having today. Well, first of all, I think I'm getting dehydrated because my lips are really chapped, and I think it's just the weather. But man. Anyways, I've been getting like my fingers. I don't know if it's because I've been playing with my my fight stick and it's hitting the buttons or whatever, but like my joints all feel kind of like
Picking up on a tweet here from President Trump,
swollen or something.
The troops being sent to the border again.
And I'm thinking maybe I need like finger exercises or something.
Court to fine Apple over injunction.
No, it's only in this hand, not this hand. That's what makes me think that it's a fight stick. So, you know, I'm 30 and I'm already falling apart. I just pushed myself too hard, maybe. I don't know. So anyways, so Uzi's comment was, the only thing that keeps Facebook and Twitter relevant is the fact that anytime someone tries to make a competitor, the media calls them, quote-unquote, havens for white supremacy. Yeah. Well, I feel like that Gab has gotten an unfair shake for sure. Because there's this whole impression
Google
that...
claiming that Apple did fail to comply with the December 20th injunction.
There's this whole impression that the media tries to give that Gab was created for white supremacists and that it's friendly for white supremacists. And the truth is that even though there are white supremacists on there, they are like their own kind of, you know, isolated thing. They've been quarantined. Like the majority of the Gab community do not interact with these people, you know? And if you get on there and you just follow people, like I'm on there, I don't look at it every day, but when I do look at it, and I just, I'll follow all of the people that have followed me, and I've, got a pretty good list so far. It's just Speculator Seth on Gab, and I don't see any of that shit. Nothing. And to be honest, the problem with Gab is that there's not any interesting content on Gab in general right now. That's the problem with it. There needs to be somebody over there that's interesting enough to be worth following, and it's not. Like maybe if it was some of the guys that got banned from Twitter really picked it up and like ran with it, like if Milo, I'm never linked to a Milo Yiannopoulos tweet from Gab, but he would be somebody that would have a big enough following that more people would go over there. So then it would be right wing, but it wouldn't be like white supremacy like they're all saying. Think about how quick MySpace died. Facebook and Twitter can suffer the same fate, but if the media props Facebook and Twitter up as the only viable standard for social media, competitors don't stand a chance. Yeah, so I'm always hearing, I want to call it a conspiracy theory, because I don't know how these sorts of things work. But the conspiracy theory that I'm always hearing is that Facebook was created by the government to spy on us. That they received funding from the NSA to become as big as they did. And so for that reason, it would be hard for any other social media to be picked up. I feel like, though, that if you replaced Facebook with something else, why would the something else be any better? You know what I mean?
There's more from Trump here, looking for China to open their markets not only to financial services, which they can now doing, but also to our manufacturing of farmers and other US businesses and industries, saying without this as a deal would be unacceptable.
Yeah, okay. So like, to me, the thing that is that makes the social media toxic is the algorithm. The algorithm encourages our worst impulses. The algorithm encourages the dopamine seeking, the novelty, browsing a ton, looking for praise, posting things.
We get the US new home sales for November, again expected at 0.56 million, and the month-to-month figure 2.9% expected.
Posting things that are going to get you a lot of likes, avoiding posting things that are going to get people to unfollow you or shun you or argue with you. The algorithm encourages the bubble,
Finance Minister
and
the GDP data is linked to the European economic trends, saying that Italy should accelerate their investment plans post-data.
It encourages the bubble, and it encourages the bubbles to clash with each other. That's the algorithm. So if you want to fix social media, you got to take the algorithm out of it. But the algorithm is the only thing that made those websites like worth visiting in the first place. Like Reddit is like a good example, right? Like there was Slashdot before all of that, and it was just like a curated newsfeed, and everybody would go and read that, and it was great. But then Dig came along, and it was based on what people upvoted, and you tended to get better content that you were more interested in because of that, and then that led to the problem that we're in. So how do you go in and you make a social network that doesn't have the algorithm and doesn't encourage those kinds of behaviors, but still provides people with more interesting content than when they're getting on Facebook? Well, there's one thing that I've seen that I think accomplishes that, and it's what we're doing right now, right? Is a guided discussion through streaming where you have one person that's talking to all of their viewers, because then it's
1
like a
minute.
personal thing, and that person can say whatever you want. And when you look at the people out there that are like doing well, let's say, people that are doing well and that are saying maybe kind of conservative things. So like a good example is PewDiePie. And how is he doing it? He's streaming and he's doing it on YouTube. He's not doing it on the social networks. So I don't know what brings Facebook down. All I know is that it's reached like market saturation, right? Like I don't think that you're going to get a whole lot more growth out of Facebook in the future. Okay, I got a friend from Turkey. He lives in the United States. He didn't want a Facebook account, but when he goes home, he has to
10
give the
seconds.
Turkish ICE officers his social media passwords. He didn't want to get flagged, so he created a minimal Facebook page so he wouldn't look out of ordinary. That's crazy. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, so they're moving back up here. They've pushed back and forth across this range many times.
0.657 million, 0.657 million for new home sales, a month-to-month figure at 16.9%. It's got the US new home sales coming there at 0.657 million, beating expected at 0.57 million. The month-to-month figure again a beat there at 16.9%, expected at 4.8%.
So I have the
Looking at
expectation
the breakdown
was
as well, there, the US
569.
November median sale price coming in at 302,400. That was down 11.9% from November of last year. The homes for sale at the end of November was at 0.33 million units, while the new home supply at 6.0 months worth at the current pace. The Northwest sales were up 100%, while Midwest were up 30.5%, South up 20.6%, while the West were down 5.9%.
Yeah, so I don't know. It seems like the expectations on this one were a little bit all over the board, and they aren't reacting to it. Yeah, so the thing that is interesting about that, the thing that Dojo mentions there. So like when I was single 3 years ago or whatever, Tinder was a thing, and to do Tinder, you have to have a Facebook account. And there was some girl, actually a lot of girls that I dated, that they had a Facebook, but they hardly ever posted anything. I used to be that I would post at least twice a day, something, because that was what I understood to be like what would give you the most reach and would give you engagement with your people, is if you posted twice a day. And if you post more than that, then it starts to throttle you a little bit. But these girls, they would post maybe once every 6 months. Facebook is straight boomer status now, I guess. I mean, we were talking about like 25 to 30-year-olds. So, but at the time, to me, if they didn't have a Facebook, that was suspicious. It was like, you gotta at least have a Facebook. And I met my wife on Facebook, and she really likes using everything. But then in the past, and this is really something that I've kind of really found in the past 2 months or so, where it's been like, but you know what? Like, spending too much of the time on Facebook is really bad for you. And the type of, you're now getting like a dichotomy where there's people that are on the network all the time, and there's people that are not connected to the network at all, and they don't even think the same way anymore. Like, you can tell some of you guys that come in the YouTube, and you're like, I don't use Facebook, I don't use Twitter, have very different opinions from the people that tend to use it a lot. But that right there is the thing that tells you that it's a scary thing, don't you think? Is that using the social network changes your opinion about things that have nothing to do with social networks. Why is that? Is that change a good thing or a bad thing? How do we know if they're right or not, does it make our understanding of the world better or worse? I don't know. I can't tell. All I know is that I see a lot of stuff on social media that just isn't true. That's where the NPCs come from. Haha. Yeah. Yeah, so this is one thing that I've been watching carefully that is interesting is the tax debate, right? Over the past few weeks, because of Elizabeth Warren and AOC, there's been a lot of talk about taxes. So there's a lot of people talking about taxing the rich and that we should totally tax the rich as much as we want and whatever. And there's something to be said. I think that a progressive tax system is good. In fact, I've actually seen some economic research. I really should go back and try and find it again. But I've seen some economic research that suggested that you actually have a higher growth if the tax system is progressive as opposed to a flat tax. I think a flat tax would be more fair, but my understanding is that things do better with a progressive tax, But the thing that Elizabeth Warren is talking about is very, very far outside of traditional mainstream American thought. What Elizabeth Warren is proposing, if she had proposed this 20, 30 years ago, she would have been labeled a communist and chased out of politics. And I go on Reddit and I read these posts and there's all these people praising it. And I'm like, I don't know if this is real. You know what I mean? There's some pretty good absorption there at 0.8 That could actually be another buy. I'm tempted. The E-mini is moving up pretty strongly. I want to just keep an eye on it. How big of an iceberg are we going to have here at 0.8? I have a hard time believing that there's going to be a 10K and then we're going to push through it and then all of a sudden it's, we push and push and push and we sell all the way down to the low. It's a pretty big iceberg. Well, there they went through it. And nobody's trading into 0.8. So this is where I would buy it here. Okay, sure. They're fighting a little bit, so they're giving you opportunity to do it. If I was really certain, I think I would buy it here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure enough. I feel like the thing that's keeping me from buying it here is that there was way too much drama here at 10.5, and that might have been a top. And maybe the E-mini pushing up pushes us down. I don't know. One ticket out of that move after 4 months of studying and reviewing after blowing my account in September. I will take that. So did you take one tick out of the down move or the up move? Either way, I mean, the thing that's interesting about the down move was that it was a little volatile. So especially for one tick, it kind of gave you a little bit of, gave you a lot of room to work. That's also why you got to be careful about that sort of a thing, though, because that means that if a big player wanted to reverse, they were given plenty of opportunity to accumulate here to do it. From the up move from 90. I gotcha. Well, there's a bubble in the E-mini. I don't know. I'll post that in the... Well, I'm not liking my nose here, guys. I wanted to go 10.5 again, but there was not much to be had. Yeah, well, this is where it's like you kind of watch it. It's all about trying to determine what the range is going to be as it happens, right? So we can see there's an iceberg here at 09. So if you want to buy, the best spot to do it is at 09. 100%. They're iceberging there again. Like that's the spot to do it. If you think that it's going to go long, right? If you think that we're going to break a new high or we're going to go sideways for a little bit more, you buy it here. If you think that we're going to go down, it gets a little bit tougher, but probably you would have to sell it at 10. I don't know if you would get 10.5. Right, so there's a tick up. So now at 10, if you think we're going sideways, then you have to take it off. And it's not pulling, you see. So, of course, that can always change very quickly, but there's a chance that you might be sitting there and have a hard time getting filled. You know, that's how you read the prices like that. You know, now it's been easy to get fills there before, so I think that you could still get a fill there. But just the way that it's behaving right now says that there's nobody really interested in buying 10. They think that they can get filled at 9.5. Right? You need to see a change. You need to see a change here for them to go, okay, maybe I'm not going to get filled here. I need to buy this. You're probably not going to see it because the 5 years is even on both sides. So they're probably going to rotate around this a little bit more. Okay, so there was a hit at 23 3/4. I mean, we usually see a good move around this time, so I just don't know which way it's going to go. This is like the pullback continuation or reversal trade, right? Is this going to continue and they're going to make a new high, or was this a reversal up here? It's very hard for me to tell. I know that some guys in Discord, though, tend to catch these really well. After 146.16, I don't see much in the way. Okay, so that's a good point. There is room to go higher. I'd say there is room to go higher, but there's significant resistance here. And it's all just a question of, do we get more market buyers here than limit sellers and we're actually able to push through? And I'm not even in here. The one thing is that ZB appears to be still pretty positive. On the level 2 at least. The book still seems to be positive and they're still sitting right up there at that high. But otherwise, everything else is kind of wishy-washy. You can see 113 going there. There's no pulling. This is stacking, but no pulling. The people that did get long are probably holding it and want, okay, they're now at pulled because the 5 year ticked up at pulled. But see, there's 1,000 and there's already more stacking on it. Okay, 1,500, not bad. And a couple sold on the uptick. So maybe now you could even try for 10.5. But that one's even more questionable for fill. Say that uptick was really positive though. Okay. So now you filled out at 10.5.
Comments out of Germany's IFW Institute, the German economy likely grew by 0.1 in October of the fourth quarter, avoiding a technical recession.
Okay, so now, so you would have gotten 3. So here's where, now that you've gotten 3, you want to consider taking a profit, but there's a potential
Other
level
news
break.
as well, comments out of the IEA. China is set to importing twice as much crude as the US by 2023.
So I'm watching to see how much absorbs. There's always going to be some profit taking and selling. Okay, 3,000. So there's a potential level break here. These you can do something like you can put a stop limit here. But there's a really good chance that if they buy through 11, that there's going to be a stop run up to 12. It might be really fast. That's why so many people are buying it there on the limit, right? If you really, really thought that it was going to go higher, you want to buy that. But I'm still not actually sure if they're going to do it. This trade right here is 50. If you buy here, it's a 50-50 in this context. Like, we've had some trend, but it's not like a trend day, and so it's not enough to know if it's actually going to go straight through or not. Let's see. One offer again. So it's not unusual for it to tick down, even to tick down at 10 and then come back up and then hit it.
I was just picking up on a piece now from the South China Morning Post. They're just doing a recap of the trade news, with Trump saying the trade war will hopefully be resolved before March. They are quoting a source here, it may have come out earlier, that China had refrained from committing to substantially altering its tech and government subsidy policies, which do form the crux of the US problems with China. Instead, their source is saying it had focused on pledging massive purchases of American goods to reduce the trade imbalance with the US.
Okay. So if it happens, it's like Tyler might just come through and just buy everything that's there. By the way, have we been moving up with the E-mini? We have. At least on this last little push. Okay. They're still holding that 10.5, and they're still holding a pretty good bid. When they do the level break, it often will pump up to be more than this, though. Okay. The E-mini came up to a big order there and is having trouble going through it. If this happens, I'm just going to do it like that. Actually, no. I want to do it like that because I don't, that's a stop limit, so it'll be a limit order. I want to get caught short if it went too fast. Okay, actually, you know what? I'm not going to do this because I need to go take a look at the kits. So, I'm going to go post my notes here. And now is a good time for like any final comments. Oh, by the way, while I'm thinking about it, I made a post yesterday on the Patreon showing some of the best posts from the cryptocurrency indicator. So, if you don't check it regularly, now would be a good time to go and check out that post. I made it public, so you should be able to see it. And it's like all of the major like tops and bottoms that it has called so far, and what I was kind of saying about it. So I never say like a straight up like, oh, you should buy it or you shouldn't buy it. But I'm always, you can kind of tell what my bias is there. And it's just really, It's really crazy how going back and looking at it, how effective it's been, because it's literally called it to the T every step of the way. Okay. But that's on the Patreon link in the video description.
In 10 minutes time, we'll be getting the weekly EIA and nat gas storage change, expected to be a draw of 197 BCF against a prior draw of 163 BCF. It's in the range of a draw of 207 to a draw of 165. We're getting comments from the US ambassador to the EU saying that US is supporting discouraging the purchase of any Chinese digital product that does involve potential national security implications.
Block sell.
For saying true, that's why I got out. I couldn't tell. Yeah, I wouldn't initiate a position here, not my style, but over long term, I think probability is up.
To be a draw of 197 BCF.
As long as growth and inflation data continues to slow on a trending basis. Okay, so they did make a new tick. They did make a new high by like 1, but they didn't clear it. So if you had bought, if I had limit bought in there, then I wouldn't be making anything. But if you had bought the 10.5, then it wasn't. Yeah. Hey, Wrong, how's it going? Sorry that you didn't know. Is your data connections all going through Ninja, like from Ninja to... Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. Is I'm connecting it into Ninja, and then it comes into Jigsaw. But before, I just connected Jigsaw directly to it, and it was fine too. Like, I don't think you need the API to do Jigsaw Day Trader. So I don't know what to tell you, but I use it through Rhythmic, and I only have to pay 15. Yeah, so I was going to say, the one thing that's nice about that trade is that you can very, very easily define your risk. Like, you can, okay, look at your screenshot. You can sit down and say, okay, I'm going to do 10.5, and if there's any pulling at 10, then I get out for 2 ticks. And generally speaking, it should go almost right away. It's almost like a risk-free trade. Starting May 1st, 2014, if you log into RTrader Pro for any of these listed below third-party trading platform connected to our API, there will be a monthly fee. And then it has, yeah, well, I've been doing this. I've been doing it this way since before May 1st, 2017, I think, because I've had the bridge for a while.
1 minute.
So maybe that's why I don't get charged. Maybe if I tried to connect to it directly, we could try it tomorrow. Oh, you know what? I need to do. I didn't do it. Well, it's too late now. I gotta go. I need to get a better video here of some of these instruments, but I'm gonna have to do it tomorrow. Remind me when the equities open. Yeah, maybe it's because I'm using the bridge. I don't know. I understand why you would, but I also don't think that I'm actually connecting to our API. But obviously I don't completely understand. Yeah, that's probably why your data is kind of lagging. That maybe. I've never noticed a difference, but you know, whatever. We can change it around.
3 BCF again, a draw of 173 BCF for the EIA nat gas storage change.
I'd have to
We got the breakdown coming down. The
mess with it.
Cavern were down 17 BCF, while the Pacific were down 7. So Central nat gas stocks were down 52. The Midwest were down 67. East were down 39.
We're just gonna record here for 30 seconds. They'll do that in GC, and Z, and I'll make it all big. And E, where is ES? We'll do it live. Even though I need to walk out the door here. Okay. Market depth 100. Okay, and stop it and start it.
On a Reuters source piece, Marathon Petroleum reports has been shutting its 89,000 barrel per day gasoline making unit within the past 24 hours due to mechanical issues. That gasoline making unit is at the Cattlesburg, KY, US.
I think that should be enough. Okay. Anyways. Yeah, we can tomorrow. I can do it and I can show you when it's connected directly to Jigsaw versus vice versa, and you can tell me if it actually looks different, alright? Anyways, I will catch you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, stay profitable, friends.